Costco has a reputation for offering value by buying in bulk. But where does the quality of some of their most popular food items sit when compared to budget and premium UK supermarkets? Well, me and Jay here are going to have a fun little taste test to see if we can get any closer to finding out.
I've shopped at Costco a few times and I've always been really struck by how good value for money it seems, but I've never really considered what the quality is like compared to normal food.
That is perfect because that's what we're trying to understand a tiny little bit more about.
Right.
Your first three are in front of you and you can lift your blindfold. This is a blind taste test, it's not a blindfolded taste test.
Lettuce?
No.
Bread?
No.
The glistening thing on the lettuce?
Yes.
Olive oil?
Olive oil.
Okay, start over here.
Extra virgin olive oil, to be precise.
That tastes like olive oil because I haven't got a comparison yet.
Yep.
I think B is more peppery. Definitely getting a bit more heat and a bit more back of the throat, kind of like, ooh.
Yeah, the warmth that comes through.
Oh, C's coming in with a lot bigger punch of flavour, but I think it's a bit more bitter. Well, if I had to pick a favourite, I'd pick B.
Okay.
I think it's peppery, but it's quite rounded as well. C was quite bitter, and A was much more neutral.
I can give you now the olive oils in isolation.
Let's do that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Why is he sipping it?
Yeah, that is fairly neutral. Has got a really nice flavour. Slight bitterness to it now, I'm tasting it in isolation. B. Well, that was a big sip. Definitely a bit peppier. Peppier? Yeah, peppier. It's peppy.
It's peppier.
It's peppy. C. Burny. Burn, a bit more burny on the throat. That one is bitter.
So the burn you're feeling is likely that those olive oils have a higher number of polyphenol levels, which are like groups of sort of antioxidants. So the more the throat burn, the more likely those polyphenol levels are. The higher the number, the longer the shelf life, but also does increase the bitterness and the throat burn sensation. So Italian DOP, the certification, that ranges between 300 to 400 milligrams of polyphenols per kilogram, okay? Comparing to sort of standard extra virgin olive oils, which are around 250 plus.
Right.
Okay, so Italian DOP has to be quite burny and bitter.
Oh, but it's the good stuff that causes. Well, that just makes this a complete guess game. In that case, Costco, Waitrose, Aldi.
I can confirm that A was Aldi's Celesta extra virgin olive oil, which is their own private label brand of cooking oil and sprays. B was Waitrose extra virgin olive oil, and C was Costco's Kirkland signature extra virgin olive oil.
So I got A and C the wrong way round, but B was bang on. 1 out of 3 ain't bad, right? How does that relate to price?
Let me tell you. A, Aldi, $6.79 per litre. So that is a blend of olive oils of European Union origin. The Waitrose was £8.50 per litre. These come from Spain, mechanically harvested, and the Costco Kirkland signature, which is their own brand,
okay,
and we'll talk about them in a little bit more, is £10 per litre.
Well, that's already ruined my expectation.
Yeah, we found that really quite interesting. Where this leads you into is then actually comparing it to DOP or ranges within that 300 to 400 milligrams of polyphenols.
Yeah.
If you're going to measure versus the burn quality conversation. Interesting, right?
That is.
Do you want to see the bottles?
Yeah.
So the Costco bottle comes in a 2 litre bottle. It's Italian origin, mechanically harvested, but grown, pressed and bottled in Italy. And its polyphenol levels are between 300 to 400 milligrams, and it makes it one of the highest antioxidant supermarket oils.
Wow.
And I guess going back to the price, the fact that the Kirkland is the most expensive per litre of the three, more expensive than Waitrose, which surprised you.
Yeah, more expensive, but it's got that definable quality uplift. Like with the polyphenols, I remembered it. There is a reason that should be more expensive if it is definably a better quality. That's then going to come down to a personal preference of how much value you assign to your polyphenol levels in your olive oil, if you've ever thought about that before. But if you went into Costco and then into Waitrose and you found the Waitrose one was cheaper, the chances are you're probably going to go for the Waitrose one.
Right, well, we've started. Apologies for it being very wordy early on, but
Wordy early.
let's eat some more food. So as we draw our own conclusions on the quality of Costco products, I did some digging on the claims they make when it comes to their Kirkland signature range. Co-founder Jim Sinegal once stated, a Kirkland product should be equal or better quality than national brands. So they pilot test their products regionally before expanding them nationally. So if customer reviews, sales or quality benchmarks aren't met, they discontinue it. Which all sounds good in theory, but does the food tell the same story?
This smells amazing.
It does actually, yeah.
Is it the Parmesan we're looking at? Because I have no idea what's underneath.
Yeah, it's a beef carpaccio, all topped in Parmigiano Reggiano. All of these are DOP PDO.
So they all meet the quality level?
Yes, and they're actually all 30 months aged.
Right. So these should be comparable.
They should be, yeah. A little bit more about Parmigiano Reggiano. Actually, having consulted with Kush and respected opinions online, you should really look for 24 to 30 months of aging. It tends to be the sweet spot. Anything longer than 36 months aged gives like a crystalline, like nuttier, complex flavour.
I think B is funkier than A. I feel like A is a bit more rounded. It doesn't taste as mature.
Even though it's been matured for the exact same amount of time.
Yeah.
Interesting, cool.
God, this is really hard.
I mean, when things are produced with a certain certification, there might not be a huge amount of difference anyway. The fact that you are tasting an increased funk in one of them, B, is already quite interesting.
Definitely more of an aftertaste in B.
Pleasant?
And compared to C, yeah, pleasant.
Okay.
B is definitely my favourite.
Yeah.
What? I don't know how to place. I don't know how to place them. With B being my favourite, let's say that's Costco.
Okay.
Aldi, Costco, Waitrose.
So A was the Costco Grand Tier Parmigiano Reggiano PDO, aged for more than 30 months, made in Italy, and certified by a control body authorised by the competent ministry.
We could do with some of them.
I don't think any of us are competent enough. B was Waitrose #1 30 months Italian Reggiano Parmigiano, DOP. And then finally C is Aldi, Parmigiano Reggiano, PDO. Again, minimum 30 months aged, made with raw cow's milk, and has a Great Taste Award 2-star.
Ooh.
Let me grab you the cheeses. Bosh, as expected, I think the Costco delivers on the size expectations.
It does, but I think they need to work on their font on my labelling, because it looks like it says Parmigiano Reggiano Poo cheese rather than PDO.
Let's talk some prices.
Yeah.
Costco, that is £18.69 per kilo, which means that 1.05 kilo block was £19.62. The Waitrose, £28.75 per kilo. And the Aldi was £18.76 per kilo.
So the Costco and Aldi are very, very comparable in terms of price.
But in this particular scenario, the Costco is the cheapest.
They were very comparable in terms of taste. the Waitrose one had more to it, had that funk and that aftertaste. But if I knew I was going to both shops and I had to get Parmesan, I'd stick with one of the other two. I wouldn't. That's not worth it for me in terms of that difference. A kilo of Parmesan is a lot to get through. Like when we had the Grana Padano cheese,
we took home wedges like that.
We were using that for months and months here at the studio. We gave it out to the rest of the team. Everyone was using it at home, and there was still stuff in the fridge. Like I can't get through a kilo before it goes off.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless I can buy like a regular amount, like all these 200 grams, 170 grams, then I can't buy it at Costco. Unless Costco do those sizes.
They didn't. Got another 2 in you?
Not yet.
Oh yeah.
But you can put 2 in me.
Excellent. Round 3.
Whoa! Penne.
Penne pasta with a lightly spiced ragu. So after consulting Chef Kush, but also some respected opinions online, here's what to look for in good penne pasta. You're looking for a rough, matte surface as opposed to shiny and smooth.
So that the sauce can stick to it.
Absolutely. Bigger ridges, better. Pale or straw coloured in the packet when dry is better than brighter yellows, because brighter yellows can sometimes suggest higher temperature drying, which will affect the taste. And just make sure that the pasta you're buying isn't cracked or dusty.
Even without a comparison, I would say that the penne there is slightly chewier than my preference would be.
So these were all cooked to exactly the same temperature of water for exactly the same amount of time as well.
B is less chewy.
Okay.
B is less chewy.
Thank goodness for that.
Sorry, I'm just sucking the sauce.
I've never seen anyone suck pasta. Great.
I'm just sucking the sauce off so I can try and taste the...
You really care about this,
Yeah.
which is great.
This is science, right?
No.
See?
They are all kind of the same size, aren't they?
Yeah. C might be my favourite, you know?
Interesting.
It's all about texture because the flavour is coming from the sauce. But the texture is different between all three. A is quite tough and chewy. B feels standard. And C feels a little bit more, I don't know, like smooth and not silky. That's a silly description, but has something to it that B doesn't.
Would you say it's a al dente bite that you look for in pasta?
I would. It is to the tooth, which is what al dente means, I think.
Yeah, probably.
All 3 dried pastas look completely different. I mean, look at how dried and premium looking, I would say, this one looks. I would say the matte finish. And then A and C, he says through his colourblind eyes and glasses, A seems more yellowy than C.
I would agree.
Good. The biggest difference is with A. A is chewier. The difference between B and C is far more subtle, which is surprising when you see how different they look when they're raw.
Well, which is budget supermarket Aldi? Which is premium supermarket Waitrose? And which is Costco?
Aldi, Waitrose, Costco.
Interesting, because now we're starting to go on a journey. I can reveal that A is Waitrose essential penne pasta. B is Costco Del Verde penne pasta. And C is Aldi Cucina pasta.
That's the second time I've got them all wrong.
You actually preferred C, which was Aldi.
Yeah.
You thought Costco was actually Waitrose because the pasta looked and felt more premium.
Yep. Better than A.
Better than A. And that A was a bit chewier. Here are the packs.
3 kilos.
3 kilos of pasta.
Perfect.
So the Waitrose Essential Penne Pasta, £1.50 per kilogram. The Costco was £1.60 per kilogram. so slightly more expensive than the Waitrose. But the Dal Verde brand is deemed a premium Italian pasta brand, which was established in 1967, and it's sourced and crafted in Fara San Martino. And the Aldi is their Cucina range, which is their own brand, focusing on Italian-inspired products, and that is made in Italy.
I'm not surprised by the prices, but I am surprised by the quality, like the quality that I could taste, and the differences in the eating experience, which were mainly texture. The Costco one definitely feels more premium, particularly when you look at it dry, and it's a really good eating experience.
Well, we've got one more for you.
Yes.
Boom.
Oh, steak. Yes.
3 ribeye steaks.
There are some visual differences in terms of the fat and how the fat has rendered out.
All cooked medium rare.
Very, very tasty. Very tasty.
So these have simply been seared in a hot pan of oil until medium rare.
B has a much steakier, beefier flavour than A.
Okay.
Would be my initial assessment.
And what we're looking at here is Costco have a huge meat section, like a butchery section, where they literally sell everything you can imagine. And it's very, very popular in terms of purchasing figures.
I've previously bought burgers, like in a pack of like 30 or something like that. But I only did it because they looked good. It wasn't just like, I need 30 burgers, just pick something.
No, it's like these look worthy of a family barbecue.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. This is interesting though.
Okay.
A is a lovely steak. B is a much beefier tasting steak. And I think C sits kind of somewhere in between them. Oh, it's anybody's guess. It really is. I'm gonna back Costco.
Oof, okay.
Because you're right that they put a lot of focus on their meats and the meat section. And so I wonder whether that is coming through.
Okay.
Aldi, Waitrose. Waitrose, Costco, Aldi.
Okay. A was Aldi British ribeye steak, 21 day matured. B was Costco Australian ribeye.
Right.
And C was Waitrose British beef ribeye steak. Yeah.
Half a cow.
Welcome to Costco. So yeah, that is a full beef rib primal cut.
This
As sold.
awesome.
This is what Costco say about that ribeye. It's born, reared and cut in Australia. This comes from young steers and heifers 20 to 30 months of age, and a guarantee of non-contact with animals treated with hormones from non-hormone farms, and they are a great taste producer.
And it has a great taste.
Yeah.
It really does. The only thing to say against that is it's come all the way from Australia.
Yes, it has.
Which feels criminal when knowing how good British beef is.
I mean, they have British beef there as well. The Australian were the only ribeye cuts. Should we talk price?
Yeah.
A, which was the Aldi, is £23.54 per kilogram. The Costco was £31.99 per kilogram. And the Waitrose is £40.91 per kilogram.
So this comes basically slap bang in the middle.
In the middle, price-wise, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, we are keen to ensure that there wasn't a huge load of red flags around relationships between Costco and farmers. However, we didn't find many credible examples of that. Now, that is not to say that those don't exist. We are not farmers. We are not talking on behalf of them. But there wasn't a humongous, this is horrendous, what are you doing?
This is actually from a horse.
Yeah, there was none of that. I guess the final conversation is, are you ever going to be able to, in your situation, make use of that?
Only if I bought a massive chest freezer, but also only if I knew I was getting it for a good price that made it worth that while of going through the effort to then slice it up, package it up, freeze it, and then know I've got 30 steaks in the freezer for whenever I need them.
What this allows you to do is to cut up a variety of sizes of ribeye in accordance to when you need it and which occasions. So you can do thin cut steaks for quick or kids food. You can cut the perfect steak that you appreciate. You can do big old slabs for celebrations. You can even take massive chunks and roast it for a Sunday roast.
Oh, I hadn't thought about
It
that.
enables the customization of steaks and sizes fit for purpose depending on what and when
A steak
you're
for
eating them.
every day of the week.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
Maybe not, we don't stand by that.
Not for long, you wouldn't.
No.
I like that.
But yeah.
I don't have the space, but if I did,
Well, also, you've
Great
got to
idea.
have the money because that entire thing cost £188.36, which you can justify almost when you're paying for individual steaks as special occasions, but that is a big old outlay in one big go.
yeah, it is. You're investing in steak. The stakes are high.
Stakes are high. So has my trip to Costco and our very brief insight into some of the most popular ingredients changed anything about the way you think about them?
Yeah. I expected them to be cheaper a lot of the time,
Yeah.
and they're not. But the quality is up there, and therefore most of the time worth paying for compared to other supermarkets. I still like. I'm not going to go out of my way to go, oh, I need some pasta, I better go to Costco. But what do you stock up on whilst you're there? I think is a really interesting question to ask.
Well, if you'd like to see us taste test more of Costco's most popular items, let us know and we'll make them. Also, like the video if you liked it. 15,000 back to back really helps. Thanks.
Does anybody want some steak?
Yes. Yes, I do.